What is up, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about the topic of what is the most important chain, or what is the most important part of arm wrestling. I've been asking myself this question for a very long time, and I can't really quite seem to get a definitive answer. Maybe it's just one of those questions where there isn't one definitive answer, and there's multiple chains when it comes to arm wrestling. And I really want to know what your guys' thoughts is as to what chain is the most important, because you obviously got the hand, you've got the fingers, obviously, and you got the thumb even, you've got the wrist, you've got the elbow, the tricep, the bicep, forearm, right? I'm pretty sure this is your brachioradialis, right? The shoulder, even the pec, even comes into play when you're doing a nice hook inside arm wrestling, right? Back pressure. What chain is the most important? So I wanted to kind of get a nice little PSA out there, nice little question to ask all my fellow arm wrestlers. What do you guys think is the most important chain to focus on or to work on when it comes to arm wrestling? Now, this question can kind of be manipulated and moved around to, honestly, a lot of different answers. It really comes down to who you are, how your genetic makeup is, and honestly, what style of arm wrestling that you compete in and pull. If you're a hook arm wrestler, I would assume it would be either your wrist or your kind of inside supination, that bicep, that kind of fulcrum lock, that dive deep down. But in order to get there, you need to be able to bend your wrist. You need to be able to soak your opponent in. So that answers the question. When it comes to inside arm wrestling, what would you want to focus more on? Kind of this already inside pressure, or would you want to focus on the wrist? Because once you already get the wrist, then you gotta the wrist is eliminated. Right now it's just all the inside on your fulcrum and kind of on your bicep. Right, top roll. It's a little different. Obviously, what would you say? You got a lot of different chains when it comes to top roll. You've got rising, you've got pronation, you've got back pressure, you've got your fulcrum. You've obviously, even for inside arm wrestling, side pressure, you can't really pin anyone without going to the side. So, it begs the question, which chain of arm wrestling, what muscle, what tendon, I guess, if you wanted to call it, what area of arm wrestling is the most important? Well, we got to really go back to the whiteboard or the drawing board here and think, what chain really connects everything? What chain really connects everything? Obviously, we would say the hand. The hand connects you to your opponent, so you can argue that without your hand you can't really arm wrestle. Which I guess is correct, but also wrong, because there's also arm wrestlers that arm wrestle without their hand. You got the flop wrist pressers, right? They don't use their hand at all. I mean, maybe a little bit. I don't flop wrist press. Obviously, they have a little bit of connection, but majority of the flop wrist press is without the hand. So then that's out of the equation. You can still arm wrestle without your hand most of the time, I guess, if it's your style. So then, what else ties into everything when it comes into arm wrestling? Then I guess I would say is this fulcrum, the ability to keep your arm up, I guess. The ability to keep your arm isometric and it not get lowered by your opponent. I think that, in my opinion, I guess that would be one of the more important chains. Maybe not the most important in my opinion, but that's got to be one of the more important chains of arm wrestling when it comes to looking at all around. Just having a strong arm, just a super, super crazy strong arm, that I guess it would be technically unpinnable. If you had such a strong arm, you just give your wrist up and you could just hold here all day without your wrist. If your bicep was just absolutely crazy, absolutely immovable, you kind of use your side pressure to move your opponent over, kind of like this. So what do we think? Is this fulcrum, this ability to keep your arm up, the most important chain of arm wrestling? Let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below, or your kind of opinions. Because the answer, it isn't definitive. It isn't it's one of those questions where you can have multiple answers, and it interests me. So I want to know what you guys think. Quick little flex. Thanks for tuning in to this little TED Talk, this little PSA. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.